So, I kind of want to talk about reasons why I don't think this show feels like Star Trek or feels like the Star Trek that came before. And I've put it into an itemized list. So, number one, there's too much stuff on the screen at any given time. There's lights, there's reflections, there's colors. It's just saturated with things. Like if you go back and look at the original series, yes, it was hampered by its technology of the time. You still got the show. And it was the story is what mattered. It wasn't the technology of the time. And if you look at the Next Generation, they had a bigger budget. They had lots and lots of special effects that they did for the show. But at the end of the day, people, they focus on the stories. They go back and they know the name of each episode, or they have memorized some things by heart. And it's because the story at the end, it was really well. Same with Voyager, Deep Space Nine. Clearly the show writers remember things from the original shows. They just didn't bother to take the writing style and the things that were put in the story and make that part of what they try to bring forward. So I don't like how this show is focused mostly on what things look like. And it's also has a lot of modern day representation that is, it's just unnecessary. I still think that back in the late 80s, early 90s, the world was on a natural incline to being naturally diverse, naturally accepting of people, and all those types of things. And at some point, the world leaders thought that if they could somehow derail that and make it artificial, that they could cause divisions in people, and it would keep people from uniting against them. And now that we're seeing all these documents come out and emails come out, we know that basically that the world is controlled by evil reptilians, metaphorically, who eat people and do other terrible things. So I don't think it's much of a stretch to think that my theory is correct. So number two, I think that there's too much modern day slang and language. Not only do they cuss, but they also use phrases and terminology from today that literally would not exist 800 years into our future.
Oh, dude, what does my tattoo say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet! What about mine? Dude, what does mine say? Sweet!
We don't even talk like we did 800 years in our own actual past. Language has actually completely changed to sounding entirely different. So I don't like that. I know they're trying to cater to a younger audience, but that younger audience does not watch this show. Number three, I think that there's no sense of scale. Whenever you see a room, there's so much space in either the background or going on somewhere else on screen that you really can't tell where they are. Which I don't know where they are. Is this underground? Because this is a massive place. Like, this is not on the ship. It can't be. This is huge. This tunnel goes on for like it curves off. It's like, where in the crap does this go? Like, I know this set isn't real. Clearly, it's not real. But where, who's working in here? And where does this go? If the ship is the Academy, where are they? I know they use like, there's one set that they use there in the atrium that has like a classroom off to the side. And that one classroom is used as if it's the only classroom you ever see. But also when you go to like their gymnasium or you're outside, you really don't know where on the campus they are because they haven't really established anything more about where they're at. We know that there's a ship that landed there and that the ship is the school. But other than that, where are they? Number four, visually, the show does not look like anything that has ever been in Star Trek ever before. It has, stylistically, it looks like J.J. Abrams' Trek, but it doesn't look like its own separate thing, and it doesn't really feel like it fits in with Star Trek at all. Number five, no one does or could ever respect Captain Nala Ake. Not only with her demeanor and her sitting in chairs weird, but walking around with no shoes, no uniform. I just feel like if this show is trying to represent a future where Starfleet is trying to come back, you'd think that you'd get somebody to lead Starfleet Academy who would be able to knuckle down and make people focus, instead of somebody who is so flippant and so nonchalant about the fact that they don't like wearing shoes and they don't like sitting in chairs a certain way. It's just very dumb. I've never seen a drill instructor or anybody who used to be one think that being nonchalant with your troops and your cadets is the good way to do things. Number 6. Every person on the show is a caricature, and that caricature ends up being annoying. So you've got the gay Klingon. He's not really a Klingon. He's a caricature of what the writers think a gay Klingon would be, and he ends up becoming annoying. Same with Caleb. He's annoying too. He can do everything. He's always in a bad mood, and he's kind of a prick most of the time. Same with the bully kid, the same with the captain. She's even a caricature of what she thinks a captain who's 400 years old would be. And it's just, each character is annoying, and I don't like anybody. Strangely enough, I actually like Sam the best. She's the only one who, and again, this is only due to the actor being not locked in, but she's chosen a way to represent her character that I think is better than all the other people the way that they want to. So that's that. Number 7. People are saying that the show is way too woke, and the response to that is that Star Trek has always been woke. And I say, if Star Trek has always been woke, then why was it so beloved before? Then why has that love and dedication to the show dissolved and caused a divisive issue between the fans? I don't know anybody who enjoys this show because they think it's good Star Trek. I only know people who think it's bad because of all the messaging that's been put in it. The message. The message! It's literally put into the show first, and it's baked into each script, each scene. No matter what, you have to get through that first just to get to the actual story, and then when you get to the story, it's even more. It's just more of the same stuff that we've had for the past 10 years that nobody likes. So if it was always woke before and people loved it, how come this new show, which is supposedly the same line of reasoning of wokeness that has come before, how come that is now causing divisions among people who actually liked the wokeness from before? Something to think about. I don't have any answers. I'm just asking questions. Number 8. The show doesn't appeal to the intellect of the audience. I'm not saying I am a mental giant or anything, but even I know that when I was a kid, I watched TNG with my dad and my mom. My brother and my sister would watch it, and I might not have understood everything, but I understood the point of the episode. When we get to the end, it's like, oh, they solved the problem by getting rid of the bad guys, or stopping the leak of whatever, and saving the people on the surface, or helping the people. And when there wasn't a clear outcome, I knew that I was supposed to think about it, even as a kid. And this show, it just throws member berries at you and expects you to know about their version of Star Trek and not kind of what came before. Like, this whole episode was about Sam and her trying to come to terms with the fact that she is an emissary. And so she just uses the word emissary and goes, oh, what's another famous emissary? Oh, Benjamin Sisko. Yeah, I'm the exact same as him, which is completely not the case. So I don't know who this show is supposed to be talking to. And if they don't want people to pick the show apart, as Connie Newsom has said...
What are you excited to share to fans?
I am excited for the fans to dissect absolutely everything that they hate.
They will do that.
Then maybe write your show better. I don't know. Try harder. Get good. Number 9. I think the show has zero nuance. They like to pretend like they have these philosophical questions that are presented, but there's no actual philosophy behind it. So it's completely just all show and no substance. It's all show, no tell. They don't actually give you anything to chew on mentally, and I don't see any philosophy behind their philosophical debates, and I don't see any debates being had that have any intelligence behind it at all. Number 10, there's no sense of service or duty, those core values of Starfleet. I know they're learning still. They're still in the academy to kind of have those things instilled in them. But you have to have pride in the organization that you're joining in order to want to carry those values forward. The episode with Wesley in TNG, where him and his group of Red Squadron, I think it was, they try to hide the fact that it was their own mistake that caused the death of their friend. And he basically says, I can't do this. If I go through with this, I am a fake and a failure and a phony, and I don't want to do that to the name of Starfleet. I would let everybody down, and I don't want to do that. Because he had a sense of duty to what Starfleet represented. So, I don't think the show is bringing that across very well necessarily, because nobody in the show seems to really care about what Starfleet is doing or their overall mission. Not even the captain cares. So I feel like that's something that needs to be adjusted or changed at least. Or they could just cancel the show and solve the whole problem. That's just me. Number 11. There's no consequences for anything at all. The cadets go to a bar, a gay bar, and they end up getting in a bar fight. And they go back to the academy, and yes, the doctor shows that he's a little irritated with Sam, but he doesn't act like somebody who is going to do anything about it. Again, I know this is real world, but if you ever talk to somebody who's been in the military, they will talk about how if they did something wrong while they were on like shore leave or whatever, it would get back to their CO or somebody, and that person would discipline them. And you'd think that Starfleet cadets causing a bar fight in the middle of a city would tarnish the name of Starfleet. It would be met with repercussions when they get back to school, or something being done to make sure that they learn that that's not the way you act as a Starfleet officer. I know nobody's perfect, but that's not the way you act as a Starfleet officer. So where is the sense of, again, it kind of goes back to the previous one, where is that sense of duty? Why are there no consequences for people doing bad things or lessons learned from messing up? And the last thing is, if this wasn't set in the Star Trek universe, who would watch it? Who do you think would watch the show if we didn't have names like the Kirk Pavilion, if we didn't have Benjamin Sisko, if we didn't have phasers and teleporters and Starfleet? Who is this show? Who would watch the show if it wasn't set in the Star Trek universe? I don't even think Star Trek fans or the people who like this show would watch it if it was set in any other universe. The ratings alone show that. It immediately drops off of Paramount's own list of shows like just a few hours after it airs. It might have a lot of high viewership when it first comes out, but after that it disappears. So I don't know who this show would be for if it wasn't set in Star Trek. And the only reason it's for Star Trek fans is because they slapped the Star Trek logo on it. So if it wasn't set in Star Trek, who would watch it? I think those are things that the people who created the show should actually think about and really, really, really think about if a season 2 is going to be made. I don't think a season 2 is going to be made because I feel like this show is going to be quietly canceled, just like The Acolyte. And I think the tens of people who actually like this show are going to go, oh no. Well, anyway.
Oh no. Anyway, last week.
So, anyway, those are just my thoughts about kind of Star Trek overall. I appreciate the fact that you stuck around this long to watch. I'm really enjoying covering something and having something each week to post. So if you like watching it, please give this a thumbs up and hype it up and let other people know that I'm trying my hardest to give my opinion on things. Hopefully you guys like what I'm doing. I'm trying my best with what I've got, and I hope what I've got is enough to make you happy. So if you like this, like I said, please like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And like I always say at the end of every episode, live long and couple